This week, the distance we traveled was intentionally light due to the Thanksgiving holiday. We traveled from Penrose, Colorado to Colorado Springs, and then back to Penrose, Colorado. Our total distance traveled was about 144 miles, or 232 kilometers. A strange thing happened on the way to the farm. Somewhere between the time we left Portland and arrived in Colorado Springs, my mom's memory care facility had been completely closed to visitors, and my dad's independent living facility was closed to inside visits. Our plan for some sort of a family Thanksgiving with my parents had fallen flat. Flashing lights. So I'm going to try priming it this time. Maybe. It's not a big deal right now when we're out in the sunshine. It's a real pain in the butt though when it's 20 degrees out and we want to use this and it won't turn over from the inside. Or when it's 20 or, no, it hasn't been 20, but when it's cold and rainy, then it's just been,
well, it was in the 30s in
really kind of miserable.
Yellowstone, wasn't it? Boy, it'd also be nice if that door hooked up somehow.
I know.
Yeah. You think it just gets dust in it?
I don't know. After throwing in the towel and starting the generator, which, by the way, only has 10 hours runtime on it so far, we continued our trek towards Colorado. The further east we traveled, the more snow we're seeing on the ground. While we did pick up 4 tire chains when we were back in Portland, our true preference is to avoid the snow for the time being. We both enjoy the snow, but right now, as we're still learning the ins and outs of our new home, we'd prefer to avoid snowy mountain passes if possible.
It's snowing.
So we're just kind of getting ready to take off here in the morning. Last night we got the first place we stopped. We were like at a little community park. The police came to invite us to keep on rolling. So we wandered over to a Walmart, and then kind of right when we got comfortable there, the security came to invite us to keep on going. So we came back to this place that we stayed, I don't know, last night, or maybe 2 nights ago. And it's not bad right now. Just kind of here on the side of the road. Last night was pretty quiet. 2 nights ago when we were here, it was a little sketchy. We could hear a lot of cars going up and down the road and people on motorcycles. And it seemed like maybe somebody came by at one point with a shopping cart. So today, maybe we'll try to find somewhere slightly better. We generally don't use the steering wheel lock when we're traveling, but at this location, it seemed like a wise idea. We usually leave our storage totes with our extra supplies in the truck's cab, but again, at this location, it seemed like a wise move to move them into the back of the camper with us each night. It was a tedious process to move the totes every day, but we slept a little bit better, not worrying so much about someone breaking into our truck while we were sleeping to steal our tote belongings. Preparing the truck for travel each morning takes a few minutes. Mounting the backup camera, which is worth every penny that we paid for it, mounting the GoPro camera, which you can tell us if that was worth the investment, and the Garmin. Usually we leave all 3 mounted in the window when we're boondocking. We took Cupcake back to the dealers where she was purchased, and they investigated the irritable generator. They discovered that both propane hoses were faulty. Both hoses were replaced under warranty, and we were back on the road within an hour. Let's do some cooking. Today we needed to use the squash that we had purchased last week at the farmer's market. We laughed a little bit at the farmer's market. Our eyes were definitely bigger than our bellies, and we ended up purchasing a prepackaged set of fresh garden items. We ended up walking away with a $20 box that contained a load of onions, beets, kale, apples, squashes, carrots, tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, and a green cauliflower broccoli-ish thing, and a bunch of lettuce. Our butternut squash recipe today was an attempt to use as much of the inventory as possible before it rotted. Plus, we really wanted to stop driving around with a big box of produce resting on our bed. For Thanksgiving, we chatted with our daughter Danielle and her family and stopped by to visit with my dad for a few brief moments. It's around 20 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 6 degrees Celsius outside right now, plus wind chill. We can't enter his facility right now due to COVID, so our time together was very brief. Not exactly how we envisioned spending our Thanksgiving holiday. To take the sting off it a bit, we decided to spring for an RV campground with electricity and running water. We both agreed that the butternut squash soup was just too sweet. Next time, if there is a next time, I'd use much less apple juice. Honestly, if we wanted pureed baby food, it's just so much easier to buy it in a jar from the store. The next day, we were both singing the Fiber Blues. A definite bonus to the RV park is a hot shower. We do have a wet shower in Cupcake, but we need to be very careful about how much water we use. Having the opportunity to take a regular shower is so blissful that I just had to celebrate with the shower beer. We were able to distance visit with my sister and FaceTime chat with my mom before we left Colorado. We planned to stay in the area for a week, and we ended up staying for almost a month. Join us next week when our travels take us to a llama farm where one of us has a big old ball of spit shot across their chest